Have you ever been in a cockpit before? Welcome to Primary Technology, the show about the tech news that matters. This week, Apple has big updates to Final Cut Pro 11 with things like transcribe to subtitles and more features. We're going to go over that, plus new Find My features where you can share the location of items even with airlines. ChatGPT might be launching an operator-style large language model in the near future, and Apple's rumored smart home hub could be coming very soon. This episode is brought to you by Moft and HelloFresh. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Robles, and joining me internationally, we're now an international podcast, is my good friend Jason Aiton. How's it going over there?
It's good, though, just to be clear, this is actually the second episode we've recorded internationally because we did one when I was in Denmark.
Oh my goodness. We've been an international podcast. I didn't even know it.
Since May. Yeah.
Since May. Look at that. I have to talk louder because you're so far away. Hello. Over there.
Can you hear me okay at least? I mean,
are
the bits traveling fast enough? Okay.
Coming through just fine. All the bits are coming. No, Jason, you're in Portugal, right?
Yep.
Portugal.
I'm in Lisbon right now for Web Summit. So yeah.
Web Summit. And Jason looks very professional. He sent me a picture of him on a stage interviewing two important people. Everybody looks very important in this picture. And that's a big stage. That's intimidating.
That was in the arena. So this was one of the center stage, like their main stage keynotes that I originally wasn't scheduled to do. And then someone wasn't able to. And they're like, hey, could you do this? And I was like, sure, I'm already going to be there. We'll do it. So that's like their arena that seats 10 or 50. I don't know how many people, 10,000 people or whatever. It was not full at the time, but it was, there was a lot of people. I mean, I don't have a clue. It was more than half full. Let's say that. So there was 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now this is your setup. You know, I've recorded by a lake. Now you've recorded in a hotel room in Portugal. That's a nice setup.
It's always weird when you're in a hotel room trying to figure out what's your background, where's the light sources coming from, how do I can't move this desk because it's connected to that long wood piece at the end that's attached to the wall.
That, yes.
So I'm sitting at the end of a desk. My feet are tucked underneath this chair that I'm at. And I'm actually hunched over just a little bit just to make sure that you can hear me okay. But these are the things we do for our primary tech audience. So
that's exactly right. And you know what else we do? I forgot to ask you about the movie quote. That's that's the other thing we do regularly. But I have a big announcement. We're going to get to that in a second. But do you remember, have you ever been in a cockpit? Do you know what movie that's from?
I mean, it's got to be an airplane movie, like a movie about planes.
You just said it. It's
airplane.
From the movie
Airplane.
You just you got it. You inadvertently nailed it. I figured, you were on an airplane.
Stumbled right into that one. That's how good we are.
Which, by the way, I think I'm furious because I think I know the answer to this. Jason, you have taken a second international flight, and the first time when you went to Denmark, you did not wear the Apple Vision Pro or even try it while on the plane. Jason, on this second international flight in our era of Apple Vision Pro, did you have it? Did you wear it?
Now, did I have a Vision Pro when I went on the first trip? I actually don't remember because I didn't get a reviewing unit immediately. But I probably did.
You've been on lots of planes. You've been on lots of planes. I know that.
That's true. I did not take it. I did not wear it. Well, obviously, if I didn't take it, I didn't wear it. But listen.
Insane.
Okay. I got an email.
No. I just have to say, you are definitely the only person in this world who has both a Vision Pro, uses it quote unquote every day, but has not worn it on an airplane. I think you are the singular person that meets that criteria.
Okay, so listen. This is not justification. I got an email at like 11:50 on Tuesday that my flight from Detroit to Boston, I was flying Detroit to Boston to Lisbon, that flight was delayed. Right. And I was only going to have about 31 minutes in Boston to catch my international flight to Lisbon.
That's
and I'm
stressful.
like, that's no bueno. So I switched my flight to fly Detroit to JFK to Lisbon. But it meant I had to leave the house in 15, immediately. I had to go because Detroit's airport is 75 minutes away. So I'm like, if I'm going to catch that flight, I got to go right now. So it is I brought my laptop. We're lucky because seriously, I had just finished packing, got the email, and I was out the door. So I didn't even go back. I actually thought about taking it with me. Now, the other thing is, I
thought about
randomly got upgraded, not randomly, but as a result of all of this, got upgraded to business class. Had I known from the beginning that I was going to be in business class, I would have probably taken it, except, Stephen, New York to Lisbon is a 6.5-hour flight.
Right, okay.
I landed at 8 o'clock in the morning and didn't go to bed until last night it doesn't matter. But the point is, I wouldn't have used it anyway, even if I brought it, because I would have slept. I had to sleep the whole time. Literally, they tried to bring me food. No, please
Just
stop
curious.
interrupting me with questions about food. I'm going to sleep. So
You know what? You know what you needed. It's like you needed a shirt that said "Do not disturb" or something similar while you were sleeping. And
that's
you know what
true.
else you can get on a shirt now? You like that transition? You like that segue?
I did not know where you were going, but good job.
Thank you. Well, just to close that loop, I just can't believe you haven't tried it on a plane yet. It's infuriating.
I'll wear it on the way home.
Ridiculous.
I mean, I didn't bring it, so that's not true.
No, that's not true. You just lied. Anyway, I'm going to tell you something that's not a lie. Is big, huge announcement. Primary Technology, this show, Primary Tech Show, now has merch. Merch. We're talking T-shirts. We're talking zip-up hoodies. Hats coming very soon. We actually have merch that you can get right now. The link is going to be in the show notes. You can go to primarytech.fm/merch. And this is a huge thank you to our good friend Basic Apple Guy. He has done all of these, and he has so graciously put them on Cotton Bureau because I don't know how to do that, and it might have never happened if it was up to me. But here's what you can get. If you want to see these, you should go over to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@primarytechshow. You can get a PTS T-shirt and or zip-up hoodie with our acronym. PTS even has the colors from our podcast artwork, which is very cool. And what I think this is going to be a big hit. You can get a battery percentage on T-shirt or hoodie. Okay, if you want to get that battery percentage or let people know your social battery is at 1%, this is going to be a great option for you. Or for my team, you can get battery percentage off. Still look like you have low battery, and I think it's going to be a hit. And also, you can get the other guy.
This is the best one.
This is the best one. You know, I have aspirations that these will just go viral, but I can imagine like just culturally people being like, you know, because being the other guy is like a thing. It's like a meme. You know, you're like the other guy in a whatever relationship, whatever. And so I think it could be funny, but it's going to be an inside joke if you wear this out because it's the other guy, and I think that's amazing.
I don't know how I'm going to feel the first time I show up at some event somewhere and somebody is wearing this.
Listen,
I know how I'm going to feel if I show up and someone's wearing a battery percentage off shirt.
Listen, all I'm saying. Also, it just go buy everything. It supports Basic Apple Guy, which he was so gracious to make all these. One of my just personal dreams. One of my dreams is to go to WWDC. Maybe that'll happen this year. We'll see. But whenever I see the podcasters that I've been following for years and their merch is being worn by someone at WWDC, I just want to see Primary Tech somewhere. I would love to see Primary Tech merch at DubDub. But also, if you get this merch, take selfies everywhere. We're going to share every single photo you send, whether it's via social media, which there's 18 social media networks I'm trying to keep up with now. We're going to talk about that in a second. You can send it on Bluesky, Threads. You can send it on Instagram. Go to our community, Primary Tech, or social.primarytech.fm. Anyway, the merch is great. Thank you, Basic Apple Guy. The link's down in the show notes. Go get it all. Just get everything.
Yeah, and before someone says this, yes, I could get these shirts and wear them to WWDC, but that's not what Steven is talking about.
No. I just yes, in the crowd, in the sea of people, I just want to see a battery percentage.
You want to see John Turnus wearing a battery percentage on shirt.
If I hear that someone inside Apple that would be wonderful. But anyway, thank you, Basic Apple Guy. This is amazing. We now have merch. Hats are coming. He made some of those too. And if you have merch ideas out there, listeners and viewers, we'd love to hear it. But we have merch. It's a dream come true, for real. So thank you. Links in the show notes. Let's talk about some tech, some technology. I don't know why I said it like that. That was real forceful. But anyway, Apple made some announcements yesterday about Final Cut and Logic Pro. And I think Final Cut Pro is really the exciting part. Logic Pro's got like plugin search. It has a Quantec room simulator. Are you an expert on that?
I have no idea what those words mean.
It's something about reverb. But anyway, if you use Logic Pro 10, there's some new features there. But I'm in Final Cut every day. And so there's some big updates both for Final Cut on the Mac and Final Cut on iPad and Final Cut Camera. So Final Cut Pro is now 11. They turned it up to 11. That's a joke right there. That now you have transcribed to subtitles, which I'll talk about in a second because I feel like they could have done a little more with that. But anyway, transcribe to captions, and you can export them as subtitles. Magnetic mask, which means you can like select a subject and it will track it just by a single click, and then you can do things like layering it or applying effects just to that magnetic mask that will stick to a subject. And they also have spatial video editing, so you can edit spatial video that you've captured on Apple Vision Pro or on iPhone 15 Pro and newer, plus workflow improvements. And Final Cut Camera, the app, now has HEVC and log recording up to 4K 120, LUT previews, and Final Cut for iPad has new live drawing inks, so you can live draw with the Apple Pencil and it will animate it for you. Apple Pencil Pro haptics, so it will, do haptics while you're editing and such. And there's new content and new workflow improvements like picture-in-picture. So pretty big updates for Final Cut. I do wish the transcribe to captions or subtitles it's transcribing it in Final Cut, which is a big deal. That's something that Adobe Premiere Pros, you've been able to transcribe and then even edit and search the transcript. It does not appear to be that full-fledged. It's not, you can't edit, obviously, by the transcript. And even exporting it, you can't just export a plain text file of it. Because one of the things I do is I transcribe my videos and run it through ChatGPT for tag ideas or whatever. And you can get the SRT out, .srt, but you can't get just a plain text file. So hopefully they add some more of those features to it, but it's great next step in the direction of, they're calling it AI features. They're all over this thing. They're calling it AI features. So yeah, welcome upgrades.
Yeah, and I think some of this feels like it's meant to bring the laptop, desktop version of Final Cut, the Mac version of Final Cut,
right,
up to because they had already made some of these changes in on the iPad version, and so it actually felt kind of weird. The iPad version of Final Cut doesn't get a lot of the features that the desktop version does, but it had the multicam support, the Final Cut camera support, that kind of stuff. So there was kind of this weird point back in May where Final Cut on the iPad had advanced farther than it had on the Mac, and you called it out, I guess, during the Mac
iPad Mini. Oh, the Mac. That's right.
They're doing the Mac announcements where they kept highlighting Final Cut, and you're like, I wonder what this means. And now they finally told us what it means. But you did. It is kind of cool. You can run Final Cut now on the Mac Mini, Logic as well, which is kind of bizarre. That now that A17 Pro was just the thing that pushed it over. I still don't think you should do it. That screen is too small.
The iPad Mini. When I made the video for the iPad Mini, I literally just opened Final Cut and press play for the video to say you can do this, but I would never actually edit video on the iPad Mini.
There's a big leap between podcast editing in Ferrite and multicam video editing in Final Cut.
I've tried multiple times to edit in Final Cut on the iPad app because I was like, this would be amazing when I'm traveling, like you are now, to just have my iPad and be able to edit and all that kind of stuff. But it just, it's not for me.
It's really only good for things that, for example, if you wanted to take a horizontal video, dump it in there and turn it into a vertical video and do that on your iPad. You're not actually making edits and stuff to it. You're like, I just need to do a thing to this video. And I know Final Cut can do that. The iPad's great for some of those things. Or let's say you needed to trim something down so that it was under a minute to share. But again, you can do all those things in the native Photos app or in CapCut or different places. So yeah, it is kind of an interesting, I would love to hear if we have listeners who are actually using Final Cut on their iPad and that are not high school students.
Well, I know for a fact Fernando Silva, who makes videos over at 9 to 5 Mac, I think uses it exclusively. He doesn't edit video on his Mac. He does it all the time. And he came from the other video editing app that was there. What was that called? The LumaFusion. He was using LumaFusion before that. So people are doing it. I think Christopher Lawley, YouTuber, I believe he edits in Final Cut on his iPad as well, coming from LumaFusion. So people are doing it, But I also want to say, so Final Cut Camera is the free app that lets you film in log, record an external SSD and all that. But before Apple's all announcements, I do want to give a shout out to Kino. It's the Lux Camera, who are the makers of the Halide camera app. Kino is their video app, and they updated their app earlier in the day yesterday, before Apple's announcements, and they updated it to have 4K 120 frames per second if you have a 16 Pro or Pro Max, and they have a better, just overall, just improve the whole thing and more LUTs and all that kind of stuff. So if you were looking for an app, and maybe you're not crazy about the Final Cut Camera, or you just want to try a different kind of pro video recording app, the Blackmagic Camera app I've used before, and it's obviously very powerful, but it feels a little clunky to me and a little too complicated, and Kino is just in the perfect sweet spot for what I'm looking for. And so if you wanted to just experiment with some apps, capturing it, it's a one-time purchase, no subscription. Kino is pretty great, so I'm going to link that in the show notes too.
Okay, I have
These
to
are
ask a
people
question.
Yeah.
What did you say the name of the company is?
Lux Camera.
That
Lux
is
Camera.
Definitely not what you said, but okay.
I said
I just wanted to clarify.
Did I say Lux?
Yeah, I
Listen,
think you definitely did.
Here's the I don't know if people know. I have a music degree, okay? And back in high school and college, we sung a lot of Latin, okay? And one of the things you sing is requiems, and in those it's Lux Aeterna. You know what I'm saying? That's what
I mean,
what I did.
it's a camera app. It's not a requiem, so I just wanted to be careful.
Anyway, Kino's it's also like based on a German word. They're all about the other languages.
Did you hear the interview with Sebastian and Ben? Was it on Decoder maybe, or was it on the Vergecast?
Yeah, Nilay Patel
and David Pierce. So maybe it was a Vergecast episode.
I think it was, yeah.
But it was great because
interview.
the two of them did not agree on how to say Kino.
Well, Halide. They were like,
Halide. That's what it was. You're right.
They said, it's however it comes out. So it seems like they're not very precious about how you pronounce it.
Anyway.
So you got Kino. It's not Kino. I know that. It's definitely
this Kino. You're right. It was the name of it was Halide. You're right. That's what it was.
And I said, how do you say it?
Halide.
Halide. Yeah, that's what I say.
Halide. I don't. That sounds like
it's
gas.
not halide. It's halide.
That sounds like
they don't care.
Right. But I was gonna just say, I think the Final Cut for camera app is really just meant to be like the killer app for that is if you want to set up 3 iPhones, use your iPad and doing multicam like live, and that's really the because really and actually Kino didn't exist at the time, I don't think. And really it was sort of a response to the Blackmagic camera app. And it's like, let's give people a slightly easier way to do this, but still give it the robust features. Because the Blackmagic app the camera app is great, but it is like, you can really quickly get into the weeds of these menus to make changes and to do stuff. So I think that
so many weeds.
I think they serve slightly different purposes, but you're right. It's a great video app. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great one. So check out those. The links are in the show notes. And one other Apple update. This is an iOS 18.2, which is coming likely in December. I've seen December 9th as a date floating around there. But Apple's Find My was updated. So if you have items for an AirTag or Find My network accessories, which I've had things like ESR wallets that are Find My, but not AirTag and not precision location. But when you have items now in the Find My app, once 18.2 comes out, you'll actually be able to have a link, share a link to someone, and they can actually see the location of that device, like load it up in a web browser, and even in the future share it with things like airlines, and hopefully, I guess if their customer service is on the ball, find the item. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you say if their customer service is on the ball. This is a thing that Apple has like partnered with the airlines. So I feel like there's probably like an infrastructure system on their end to like facilitate this, because I'm sure that the thing that airlines love the most is when people call them or go up to the baggage desk and like, but I have an AirTag in it. Look, see here, just go there, please. Like that's probably super annoying. So having some sort of a way to share that directly, like, I don't know if there's like every airline now has a dummy iCloud account that can just receive I don't know how they're doing this. Yeah. I will tell you, Stephen, I don't know if you've ever played this game. This is a fun drinking game or whatever, just conversation game. I don't know. But whenever Apple makes an announcement and you just Google whatever that topic is, right? Whether that's, so AirTags, airlines, or M4 Mac Mini. You Google M4 Mac Mini and all the articles are going to be like, or all the results are like YouTube reviews, The Verge, Engadget, whatever. When you Google this, all of the responses are like CBS News, USA Today, People Magazine. Like this is the type of thing that normal people, like non-tech people, actually super care about, and you can tell that that's true by the coverage. This is like a headline feature on CBS News and all of these places. It's kind of a fun little thing to notice. Like, oh, this is what breaks beyond the bubble of the thing. Like we're all arguing about the M4 Pro Mac Mini being faster than the M2 Ultra Mac Studio, and if you say that sentence to any like random person, they just I don't know what you're talking about. But you tell them that AirTags will now send the direct, like your location of your bag directly to the other. Like, say more. Tell me more about this.
That is interesting. So I just did a Google search because I'm still using Google, which Jason's not anymore. We're going to talk about that. But yeah, look at this: ABC News, USA Today, all the big ones, Daily Mail, airlines. Okay, listen, I AirTag everything. I got AirTags in my check-in. No, I don't check bags, Nate. I don't believe it. I try to get everything in that carry-on. Even when I went on like a 10-day trip to Tel Aviv last year, I just shoved it all in a carry-on. I don't want to check anything.
I carried an entire podcast studio here, and I didn't check anything.
This is what I'm saying. I try not to check anything. But I still put AirTags even in my carry-on because you never know what happens. Yeah, I put them everywhere. So it's amazing the battery life on AirTags, too. I feel like I've changed maybe 2 or 3 of them, and I have probably 20 in all different devices. I mean, come on. It's good battery life. Yeah. What do you got AirTagged over there? Do you AirTag all your bags and stuff?
I put it on my carry-on bag. I put AirTag. All of our kids have them in their suitcases, like their carry-on bags. Yeah. I have them on all my keys. I don't do the thing in the wallet because I use a really slim, like, Toomey wallet that if you tried to stick an AirTag in there, it would just be obnoxious. So I don't do that. But we put them on basically everything that moves.
So the wallet thing, I've included this in like my accessory videos before, but there's a company called Cax Geek or Cax Geek. I forget exactly what it is. Now I'm going to forget it. But it's basically like an ultra thin wallet with an AirTag slot. And it basically would just fit like 3 cards. And I don't know why I can never find this thing.
I bought one of these, and I don't know who it was from either. And that's probably good because I hated it, so I don't want to say who it was from. And it had just a little spot you could stick an AirTag in it. But again, like I don't even want to know my wallet is really there unless I put my hand back there to check. But putting an AirTag in it, like, and that's actually the one disadvantage of having a removable battery is it's like the size of it, what it has to be. But didn't like Chipotle or somebody just come out with a actual card slot tracker to put in your wallet? Like this just happened.
I have the Chipotle card. I don't know if they have one now that actually has the precision tracking, but that's the problem with all the third-party ones. Is they don't have precision tracking. They don't have like. I literally have one of the cards from Chipotle, and you can do the Bluetooth, and it will like, you can make a sound. It has a built-in speaker, which is great, and it'll do like the proximity Bluetooth, like the Apple TV remote, but it will not have the arrow come on screen and point you to the thing. It doesn't have the precision tracking, and so that's like the AirTag is still, and AirPods Pro 2 case are still the only 2 things that will pop the arrow on the screen to show you where it is. Not even Apple Vision Pro has that kind of tracking, which doesn't matter for Jason because he never takes it out of his house. But this was the wallet that I got. It's apparently no longer available, so it was just sold out.
Big hit.
But this is
real big hit. No longer available.
No longer available. But yeah, you could fit like 3 cards in there and an AirTag, and it's a MagSafe wallet. You put it on there. I was going to put the link in the show notes, but I guess you can't get it anymore. It's Cax Geek. They make other stuff, but yeah, never mind. Don't get any other stuff. I haven't tried it yet. Okay, I like the wallet. All right, we need to talk about OpenAI. And Jason wrote, I think a clickbait article. Let's be honest, that said he quit Google for good. But before we do, I want to thank our first sponsor, which is Moft, and they make one of my favorite accessories for the iPhone. To be honest, okay, if you want to ever record a video real quick. And maybe you need a stand or you want to watch a podcast like this one on your lunch break, the Moft Invisible Tripod Stand. Look at this. Look how slim this tripod stand is. And watch this. I'm going to try and do this like a magic trick. I failed. Anyway, look at that. You got a stand there, and you can have it bend to any angle, right? Low profile, and you can also like do one of these things, have it stand on your desk. Love this thing. So it's incredibly low profile, strong MagSafe magnets. Look at this. They can hold the phone. And then when you want to go record yourself or watch a video, it will quickly unfold. It can elevate your phone up to 8 inches off the table. You can adjust the angle. Use it in several modes. You can do like vlog mode. So if you want to like record yourself, you can do that. And you can even do the stand in the floating mode. It works great, portrait or landscape. So you could do one of these things too. I accidentally turned my camera on, so I'm like looking at myself while I'm doing it. It's throwing me off like crazy. But anyway, so if you're looking for a MagSafe wallet, this is also a wallet. That's the crazy thing too. So I'm going to try and hold this up to the camera. This is a wallet. Right here, you can put 2 cards in this little piece, and you can get the MagSafe. You can get the stand in a wallet or non-wallet. So if you don't want the wallet version, they have just the normal stand, or you can get the wallet where you put the 2 cards in. And same benefits of the tripod. So this is the non-wallet, and then you do all this. But boom, look at that. You can get it in multiple colors, and it works with NFC. So the little discrete pocket where you put the 2 cards in there. If you want to use this and just do like a tap card, so you have the NFC thing on your card, just boom. Tap it. You don't even have to take it out of the tripod wallet. Love this thing. So, 7-day sale we have a discount code where you can get the tripod stand starting at $30, $29.99. So just visit the link in the show notes and use the promo code PrimaryTechBF10. I should have asked them. Maybe that stands for best friends, like we're best friends. Anyway, so you can get the stand version or the wallet version. That's promo code PrimaryTechBF10. But even if you missed the sale, because you're listening to this episode a little late, you can still get $10 off when you spend over $50 throughout the month of November, and higher discounts if you spend more than that. So our thanks to Moft for the tripod wallet and or stand. And, when I'm eating lunch or whatever, I like just whipping the stand out and watching a YouTube video or watching an episode of Primary Technology. So our thanks to Moft for sponsoring this episode. Look at that. I worked really hard to be able to do that in one fluid motion. Oh, no, I just...
And you didn't. You worked so hard and it still didn't.
I worked so hard. I did it multiple times while I was saying
so proud
it. So,
of you.
Yeah, I did that. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, OpenAI, before we get to Jason's clickbait article, they're saying... the rumors are that OpenAI is nearing the launch of an AI agent to automate tasks. So basically like what Anthropic showed off a couple weeks ago, which we talked about on the show, which is that agent-style AI that can use a computer for you, basically, or take action for you. Looks like OpenAI is going to be launching an agent to do that similarly. This is the article from Bloomberg talking about it. And codenamed Operator. Operator. Anyway, and this is going to be, again, this is kind of the next phase of these AI models. And there was also the rumor that OpenAI was going to announce a model even before the end of the year. Whether or not that the operator model or just the next version of the LLM remains to be seen, but they're nearing that, and it's apparently getting so good now. Look at Jason. Jason's over here. This is his article at Inc. ChatGPT search made me quit Google for good. All right, defend this headline, Jason.
Wait, hold on. What do I have to defend? Do I want me to defend the headline, the article, the idea? I need to know specifically what it is that I'm being accused of here.
Did you really quit Google? Are you using ChatGPT search just for all the things you used Google for?
Okay. I have changed my default search in Brave to ChatGPT, which you can now do with the extension.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
So literally every time I type into the bar at the top, it does a ChatGPT search instead of a Google search. However, that's actually super annoying because sometimes I actually forget that I did that and I just start typing things in my brain, even though I intended to use, I forget that that's what has happened because for 15 years I've been doing Google searches there.
Yes.
There are a couple things. One of the things I do very frequently is search my own articles, not because I'm vain, but because I have to link to them or I'm trying to remember a thing. And so I'll do a site search, right? You can type site colon in any website and then just put stuff after that and it'll search for that. So I have a text expander shortcut that I just do that all the time, and probably 10 times a day. When I'm working on an article, I do it constantly. And I realize that's a terrible thing to try to use ChatGPT for. It'll do it technically, but it doesn't understand exactly what you're trying to do. So thankfully in every Chrome browser, so Brave is a Chromium browser, you can just hit :G and it'll do a Google search. So I've now had to teach myself. There are a couple things for which I prefer to do a Google search, but I have changed my default search engine to ChatGPT, and it is surprisingly good. One, I think we can all agree, Google search, the best we have, also not great. It's just gotten more and more annoying over the last, let's say, 5 years. And if I'm searching for any product, let's say you wanted to know when a particular product came out, or you're trying to get to the Wikipedia page for something, but you type in a product, Google thinks, oh, you must want to buy this thing, right? So it just starts showing you the shopping carousel or Amazon links. I'm like, stop trying to get affiliate money out of these people. I just wanted to look up when Apple introduced the iPad or something. These are things I search for a lot. And so ChatGPT, much better at a lot of the things on a regular basis. I even just searched the Lions. That's our hometown football team. And it immediately knew, you're looking for the football team, told me the most recent game results, showed me some statistics about them, and then gave me a link to the webpage. It's great.
I guess I have to figure out where I can conveniently do it, because I will just naturally search, type in the address bar for Safari or whatever, and you still can't set that default to ChatGPT.
Not in Safari, but you can in Chrome, in Brave.
On your phone, on your phone.
Oh, wouldn't That's true. You can on your phone. Sure.
Yeah, because I feel like when I'm searching for stuff, a lot of times I'm there. Maybe I'll try it on the desktop. And I will, to your point, the Google search. We actually had a listener who tagged me on Threads. And this is, I think, pretty hilarious. But this was 29 Aperture tagged me, and then someone saying, this is how useful AI is again. And it's a Google search for how much caffeine in McDonald's coffee. And the AI overview result from Google says a large iced coffee from McDonald's contains a lot of caffeine. And then there's even a table, like unironically a table, and it says drink large iced coffee, caffeine a lot. This is ridiculous. But also, Jason, if I see one more Reddit result as the top link when I do a Google search, I'm going to lose it. Okay? I understand maybe Reddit's great and there's a trove of information, just valuable stuff in there. It's never what I want to see. Anytime when I search Google, and if I ever do follow that Reddit link, which is so annoying because I don't have the Reddit app installed on my phone, and so the little pop-up comes on like, do you want to go to the app or do you want to open in the browser? And so it's like 3 steps just to read whatever nonsense post doesn't have the answer I'm looking for. I just can't stand it. I don't know why. Why did they do the Reddit thing where it's just Reddit all the time?
I mean, I would assume the answer to that question is, well, like there's a lot of money involved in this, and Reddit's deal was probably, I don't know, no one's told me this. If someone knows and wants to reach out, love to talk. If you're at Web Summit, come and find me this afternoon. That'd be great. But
there you go.
I'm guessing that part of the deal was, yes, send us all this traffic, please. And in return, yes, you can train on all of our data. Like that just feels like that's the most obvious thing.
Right. I just don't. I find it less and less useful, to be honest. I feel like in the past 10 years, I could count on one hand the amount of time I've gone to the second page of results in Google search. And in the last few months, I've gone to that second and even third page multiple times, just looking for a legitimate article about the thing that I'm trying to learn about. Like I have to get past the AI overview, get past the video links, which, listen, I'm on YouTube. I'm thankful that people find my content that way. But you got to get past that. You got to get past the Reddit stuff. And then maybe on the second or third page, you actually have like an article by somebody. So, but let me ask you this. If you're using ChatGPT search more often, do you ever find yourself actually clicking the link source it provides to actually read the website it started showing you?
Yeah. And it's actually fantastic because it will, in the copy that it gives you, it has the footnotes right there, and you can click on them and it'll show you all the links and you can just go to them like instantly. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a huge source of traffic because I don't know how many people are actually going to be using this like this for now. But I do think that it's my take on this was it's doing a good job of providing me with the information that I'm trying to find, and it's doing it in a much better user experience than Google is right now. Like to me, that's a win. I don't know. I mean, someday OpenAI is going to want to figure out how to monetize this, and maybe it will become a dumpster fire as well. And we'll just have to hope Siri gets better. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the end result here is, but for now, for a lot of things, it's great. And then here's another thing that I do like about it. Every time you do a query, it creates a new conversation with ChatGPT over. And if you're logged in, it's over on the side there. So you can actually go back and be like, oh, yeah, that thing I was looking up yesterday, I have another question about it. You can go back and add it to that thread of that conversation, and it, sends all that previous context with it. So you can just continue that conversation.
I'm gonna do a live A/B test here, Jason.
I mean, I did your caffeine thing, and its response was a large 21 ounce. 21 ounce. That's a large coffee. Wow, that's big. That's a big bad coffee.
Nah,
it has 185 milligrams.
That's medium. It's medium size.
That's a lot of coffee in one cup, but it has 185 milligrams of coffee, and then it has a link to exactly where it came from. I don't know what this website is, caffeineinformer.com. Okay. Maybe it's just a website that bookmarks this kind of stuff. But then it also has several other links, and at the bottom, there's a thing called sources, and you just can click right on those. And here's the thing. I actually think, for me, I'm more likely to click on the source links because I don't inherently still trust these AI chatbots. So I want to check them. So I'm probably doing more going, to the websites than I would be in Google.
So here's the A/B test. So I just searched in ChatGPT, what's the new AirTag feature in iOS 18.2? And honestly, it did a very nice job of saying introduced a new share item location where you can, temporary link and find my app and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's basically summarizing The Verge. So there's a link here to the Verge article, and you can just go over there and read the full thing. The same search in Google, it did well. Like, it actually has a summary of an article at the very top, and it basically says like the new share item location. So, I mean, probably the same thing, but just overall, like, it has a top stories feature. Maybe that's helpful. I mean, these are all legitimate articles. I got Mac Rumors here, Tom's Guide. Underneath, that's the videos. Then there's discussion and forums, which I'm glad that's broken out, I guess. And then, like, the Apple newsroom is down here. But this is, like, my eyes usually look for this part of Google search because I just want to see, like, show me the top list of articles right here. And, like, I would probably click one of these. And I just feel like this, it did okay for this search, but more and more often this is just kind of convoluted. And, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Let me do one more search. I'm going to see if my video pops up. I probably am because I'm logged in as myself. Getting started with iPhone. There's the
this
AI
is purely
overview
a vanity exercise right here.
So there's an AI overview, which is hilarious that they would have an AI overview for getting started with iPhone. Turn on your iPhone. Press and hold the power button until the Apple logo appears. Which is the power button? Anyway, Apple support article, iPhone user guide. Oh, down in videos. Okay, I'm the first result. Yeah, we're still good. Anyway, thank you, Google.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Well, let us know. I mean, if you're out there, listener, viewers, and you're using ChatGPT search full time like Jason is, I'd be curious to know, and maybe I should switch. We'll see. Bluesky, Jason. Why is it making a comeback? What is happening? Is this due to the U.S. election? Is that why everyone's going to Bluesky?
I don't know. I thought I had signed up for Bluesky a long time ago, but I think
you haven't because I tried to tag you.
I think I am on there now.
Okay.
As of this morning or yesterday, I don't remember. It was because time is I don't even know anymore right now.
It's a flat circle. Yeah.
I tried. Feels more like a wrinkled piece of paper to me right now, but. If I tried to sign up at one point when you must have had to have like an invite or something, and I wasn't cool enough to have one, so I must have given up for a while. It feels like Twitter mostly, and I keep seeing posts on there about how much nicer it is than Threads, and so more people should come and use it. And I wonder if people realize that the more people come and use it, the more it will become like Threads, the more it will become like Twitter or X or whatever. Like. There's a sort of a proximity bias that people don't seem to understand that like right the thing you're saying is so wonderful is a function of the fact that very few people are using it. And 15 million users, that's a lot, but it's not 275 million users, which is I think what Meta just said Threads is using, and it's not 300 million, which is what I think whatever X has or something like that. So this is it's like you left the really big crowded place and you went to the cool hangout. Well, once everyone in the big crowded place figures out about the cool hangout, you're going to need a bigger room, and then it's going to just be the same thing. So,
yeah, they had like an influx of almost 1 million users or whatever in like a couple days, but it was like delayed past the election, so I'm not sure like why that was. But anyway, I'm over here and I got 4 windows open. So whenever I post, I'm like, I guess Threads, Mastodon, X, Bluesky. Like, I don't think it's not sustainable, right? Like
that is the thing. I don't think we're going to have Threads, X, Bluesky. I mean, I think they might fragment, and you might have like a certain group of people using the nerdiest of tech nerds will probably always use Mastodon. Fine, right? Like. And if what you want to do is mention one of those, someone who fits that category, like that's where you're going to have to post. And the people who only have ever used Facebook and Instagram might end up on Threads. They're never going to go to Bluesky. And so I don't want to manage 4 different platforms, right? Primarily right now, I check Twitter, X, whatever, post things to Instagram or Threads, more often Threads. And now there's Bluesky, and I have posted 2 things, and I believe I have 0 followers, so that's cool.
No, you have 1 because I just followed you.
Oh, I appreciate that so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, can we please decide? Like, maybe that's no longer a thing, that decentralized is what people want now. I will shout out the Croissant app. Is what I actually set. I set this up, and they're working on a Mac and iPad version, but it allows you to post to Bluesky, Mastodon, and Threads simultaneously. And if you're going to tag someone, it'll even like let you do the different tags in different places in the post compose. So it's pretty great. So I've been using Croissant, and that's helped a little bit. But to the people that say Bluesky is like the nice place, I just want to point this out. I posted about my Kindle Colorsoft and iPad Mini comparison review, and one of the comments was from this guy. He says these comparisons are just stupid, to be honest. That's what he replied to me, and so I said thanks, and then he liked that post. I don't know if he knew. I don't know if he knew I was being sarcastic or not. But
I don't know. You're definitely the more affable of the co-hosts of this show.
so affable. If only they knew the amount of sarcasm laced in that thanks with an exclamation point. Anyway, I guess it's the nice place. I'm posting everywhere. I'm checking everywhere, and that's now become my full-time job. I'm just managing 4 to 8
If you never see
social
another
networks.
YouTube video on Steven's channel, you'll know that it's just because he's going to have 3 iPhones soon, one with each. He's just going to constantly.
Well, and the problem is I need, like, back in the day, there were apps that you could literally bring in, like, I feel like Flipboard did this originally, where you could like log in with your Facebook account, your Twitter account, and whatever other social media, and literally have a single timeline of all your things, but more so like all your notifications could be in one place. And we're just never going to get back to that because, I mean, you can't use third-party apps with X. Mastodon works that way. Threads, but not real. Like, you can't really do that with Threads. Like, you have to look at Threads if you want to see your notifications and engage with people. So there's just no, like, cohesive one place anymore, and it's a lot. It's a lot to manage. Yeah. Anyway, Jason's on Bluesky. You can be his 3rd follower. I'll put his link.
I'd love that, actually. Please help me out.
Half the show notes now are going to be the links to all the social networks. Like, follow Jason on.
This is not where I want to be. This is not the...
You know, I'm not Reddit. I don't know. People love Reddit, so I should stop being mean about it. But
yeah, because you want to see nice comments. That's
right.
About what you just said.
They're going to let you know. Leave us a 5-star review. All right. I want to talk about the Apple's smart home AI powered device, because apparently that's coming very soon. Mark Gurman even leaked some details, possibly. But before we do, I want to talk about HelloFresh. Our friends at HelloFresh, which is America's #1 meal kit that makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. I love HelloFresh. I was trying to find our link. It's free primary. HelloFresh.com/free primary. I'm saying that to myself so I can pull up the webpage and I can share it in the video. That's why I'm saying that out loud. But anyway, HelloFresh. I love getting a box from HelloFresh because I've cooked them with my kids in the past. They love following the recipes and being able to make something themselves. I am not someone who cooks personally very often. I did an entire bonus episode on my other podcast about how I cut an onion, and it was a traumatizing experience for the first time. Jason, you can listen to that on your flight home. I'll publish that Mott's later. But for someone like me who is not naturally adept at cooking, HelloFresh allows me to just follow the steps, follow the directions, and it just makes it easy. And I can feel confident and comfortable making the food. And listen, the holiday season just around the corner. And if you're looking for ways to spend and stress less, HelloFresh can make mealtime nearly hassle-free with delicious home-delivered, chef-crafted recipes. And they have lots of recipes in different categories, so you can have stuff for picky eaters. You can do the calorie-smart meal plan, and all the options with a rotating menu of 50 recipes to choose from every week. Jason, you wore out the HelloFresh box that you got. Can you share some of the things you have made?
Yeah, so we did these bourbon bacon burgers, cheddar burgers. They were very good. We're burger fans at our house, and they were extremely good. We really enjoyed them. And then we had there was what's it called? Is it mushu pork? Is that a thing?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
I don't know, but they were these bowls with rice. It was very, 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 very good again. And they sent us the bagels. They were included in there. You saw bagels on the top. You can make those in the oven. Absolutely. Oh, and there was a dessert that I don't know that I ever got to try, but it was all pretty good. But here's the thing I like about HelloFresh. I actually really like to cook. The problem is we don't always we have a family of 6. Typically, it's hard to find something that all 6 of us will like. But more importantly, it's hard to find the time to like put together a recipe because, you might want to make something on a Thursday night and you got to have all the ingredients. And the last thing you want to do is have to run to like Safeway, Kroger, or whatever at the last minute. With this, it's great because they sent you literally everything you need to make the meal.
It's great. Publix, if you're down here in Florida. But you don't have to go there because, listen, the grocery store is insane. I know because every time I go, it's a fight. It's a fight to the death. So just order HelloFresh. That's, I'm not even going to edit that out. That's my HomePod.
Publix is very upset with you right now. It's sending you messages.
I don't even know. Did I say something that sounded like SIRI? I don't even know. No, my HomePod just decided
you said insane.
Wow. Apple Intelligence, let me tell you.
I think that's what it was.
But listen, so you don't mess with the HomePod like that. And you don't even have to go to your grocery store. Here's what you do. You can get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/free primary. Look at that. Applied across 7 boxes, new subscribers only. It varies by plan. But that's 10 free HelloFresh meals. Just go to HelloFresh.com/free primary. That link is in the show notes. You could try it there. And remember, HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. All right. Mark Gurman over here, he's dropping details about the long-rumored, my goodness, we've been talking about this for years, Apple's smart home hub/device, screen pod, home, I guess home screen is already a thing, so it can't be that. But Apple's next device is an AI wall tablet for home control, Siri, and video calls. And I'm also going to link his tweet here, or his X post, because he basically listed all the things that this device supposedly is going to be capable of. But this new device from Apple might be coming as early 2025. It's going to focus on, I can't even say the word, SIRI, communication and home control. So it's really a home hub. It runs Safari, Music, Notes, several Apple apps. It's touchscreen, but it's operated primarily supposedly through voice and through Apple Intelligence new App Intense features, like intent, not intense, but intense features. The new S is a blend of watchOS and iOS standby mode. The size is about 2 iPhones side by side with a roughly 6-inch screen, so it seems maybe smaller than an iPad mini. Apple is working on a wall attachment plus a speaker base for desks, tables, kitchens, and nightstands. Heavy security focus with video and audio intercom for homes. The home screen will be customizable. You can tap into like your video doorbells and video cameras. And Apple is working on a higher-end version with a robotic limb and an AI-based personality. That's still years away, but the idea is an AI companion in your home or workspace. I don't even know what to say about that second one. That feels like, I don't even know. But the little HomePod with a screen thing, yes, buying immediately. How about you? You're not really all in the HomeKit, though.
No. So this is the only thought I have about this. Uh-huh. We've talked many times. We have one of the Google Nest Home Hub Max things that sits on the counter in the kitchen. It's great. Right. You know how much that thing costs? Not $1,000. And it'll play YouTube, and it'll also control YouTube TV on our TV in the other room. Like, I don't.
True.
This is like the Vision Pro version of this thing. And I don't know anybody who doesn't think the Vision Pro is trying to do too much, who doesn't think that the Vision Pro is trying to do way too much for especially once like people start to compare it. Like it's trying to do the same thing that, Meta's Orion glasses and the Quest are doing in the same form factor. And it's just trying to do way too much. I feel like this is, I don't know what it is exactly, but when Apple tries to do new things, it seems like they're like the Apple Watch seems like it's the last thing they were willing to iterate on and make better over time once it got out into the world. It feels like, there are people. Okay, so there are people in the world who make a decision to do a thing and they're like, we're going to do this thing, and then we figure out how to do it as we go. And we don't need to know exactly where we're going. We're just going to go out on this road trip, and wherever we end up, that's great. And then there are people who are like, no, I can't even leave the house or decide to leave the house until I figured out every single step of the way. And that feels like it's Apple. And I'm like, no, just like, why have you not just taken a HomePod mini and glued an iPad mini to it and released it like that? Like, just seriously though, Steven, like the thing people want is not $1,000 6-inch screen that you have a wall attachment to put onto your wall. I don't know. Is that really a
No.
thing that people want?
It can't be $1,000. I think it's someone like me wants it because I'm in the Apple smart home ecosystem like 100%. There's probably not a lot of people like me in that far into it. And like they talked on the Vergecast a couple weeks ago with Joanna Stern when she interviewed Craig Federighi, because in that interview he mentioned he opens his garage door with the voice assistant.
And
it's like,
is that really true? Is everyone going down this rabbit hole to figure out a thing? That feels like when, I'm not comparing him to Donald Trump, but when Donald Trump would like say a random thing and then people would spend like months trying to figure out how it could either be true or not. Like sometimes people just say things.
Whether it's true or not, I think the interesting part is if it is true, the process to have your garage door open with your iPhone assistant is actually laborious. Like it is not an easy process. Like you can plug in a HomePod and set that up. That's pretty easy. Changing out a smart light switch, that's a next level of difficulty that most people are not ready to do. And what I see a lot on social media is people asking about smart bulbs. The problem is that experience is not great in the smart home either. Smart bulbs are historically finicky, or you have to get a hub. And so once you start just tiptoeing into the smart home world, you either have to nerd out about it and spend a lot of time doing it, or you just a smart plug and then that's it. So like for my mom, I gave her a couple smart plugs that I had around, and she really enjoys it. She could turn on her lamp when she walks in the house by yelling at her HomePod mini, and that's cool. In order for her to control the garage with her phone, like I would need to, there's like one or two devices that work with it, and the one I use is the Maris one, but you literally have to like climb up on a ladder, you have to plug in the Maris device into the little ports on the motor, and then you have to run the contact sensor. You have to run this huge long line to install your own contact sensor on the garage door so the Maris thing knows whether the garage door is open or closed. It is a lot of work. Like that's an afternoon of work if you know what you're doing. So overall, I just think while I would love a little smart home HomePod with a screen, it would be useful for me because I have a ton of devices already. And so if I can see my 6 smart home cameras that are all HomeKit secure video and my doorbell, that's valuable to me. But I think for most people, the issue is like step one. Like what would I do with it in the smart home? I guess I could turn my lamp on and off from another screen that cost more than the lamp and the smart plug than it itself. But like doorbell, because most people have a Ring doorbell. And to install a HomeKit secure video doorbell, you have like 3 options. You have like the Wemo, the Logitech, and you can do an Arlo if you have a hub. Like immediately, like it just gets too complicated. So I do think I'm excited about this device. I think a small market would be. In order for it to be mass marketable, I think Apple still has to raise the bar on the HomeKit like entry point. And like I walked into the Apple store the other day to, I think, return something, but I went to like, they have this smart home section and they show off like HomeKit, smart home. And it's like the Eve outdoor cam, which is a pain in the neck to install. Like you basically have to have a light fixture on the outside of your house you're willing to replace with a floodlight. It's like wiring, like it's complicated. And they'll have like a smart plug, which is the easiest entry point, and they'll have something else, and like all of it is just complicated. So I do feel like there needs to be, if Apple really wants smart home to be a thing and this device to be a thing, there needs to be a better onboarding as an Apple user. And Apple should say like, just not only here's the smart plug, but I don't know what, because it's tough. Like smart home is tough. Like what smart home devices do you have that you are just like, this is easy enough and like most people should do this? Like do you have switches? Do you have bulbs?
Yeah, so if you wanted to do lights, you just buy the Lutron switcher. Like that's an easy thing to solve, right? And we have the bulbs. In our house, we have the
turn off their
bulbs,
breaker.
We have the C by GE,
Yeah.
and they work with the Google Assistant. I've never had a time when I have said, hey, dingus, for Google, turn off the lights in whatever room, and it didn't just instantly do it for me. Like the one thing I can't do with it.
Compatible?
What?
Are those HomeKit compatible?
No, but I don't care.
Well, like, but that's why this device in particular.
No,
you're not going to be able to do this stuff.
All the things you want to do that you think this device is going to solve, the Apple should have spent $1 billion fixing the assistant, because you don't need this device if your HomePods could just do all this, right? You can talk to the assistant with HomePods, with your phone, with your watch, which is the only place I suggest anyone talk to their assistant is with their watch. You can do all those things. the problem is not needing this device does not need to exist to fix all of those things. Also, by the way, we don't have time because I have to go soon to get into this, but I just want to say there's never been a time in my life when I didn't need to either open or close the garage door and I wasn't just standing there by the button. Like I've never needed to do that when I wasn't just right there and could just tap the button right on the thing. And I replaced my garage door recently, didn't give a single thought to whether or not they would be compatible with any smart home, anything, because every time I want to open the garage door, I've opened the door for my house and I push the button. And every time I want to close it, it's because I'm walking in the house and I just push the button.
Yeah.
I just want to say.
I find the garage door opener to be one of the most useful things because someone has to work, like if someone's coming in the house and needs to work on it, or you need to let somebody in the house and they don't have a key and the keypad outside doesn't work because mine doesn't work because ants developed a nest in there or whatever. Like I like opening the garage remotely and doing it from my watch. But I just think the barrier to entry to smart home, I think that is a bigger problem to solve than this. I'm excited for this device because I could see all the cameras in one place. I'm going to maybe replace the HomePod here in the studio with a device like that. Intercom is really cool, and the only useful way I found to use it is like shortcuts. So most people probably are not using it. They don't even know it's a thing. So I think bringing features like that to the forefront would be great for users, but you do have to solve like that entry point, like where do people get started? And I would like just to hear about smart home more often in like Apple events. Like you just don't hear a lot about it, and so this is going to have to come along with a bunch of other announcements. But when do you have to go again? You said 9:15.
We're good. I got 20 minutes.
Okay, well, let's, all right. Well, real quick, because I want to get a personal tech because someone asked a question about our macOS dock. And so real quick, I just want to mention Sonos, they are still struggling. I see their app being updated every other day, but the debacle with the app and just product releases being delayed, the revenue's dipping. It's not great. I also, as a Sonos user, I have the Arc, the Beam, the Sub Mini. I also have no desire really to try like the Arc Ultra. I'm like, I don't think I need to spend another $1,000 to replace my Arc that's already great. So no, they're struggling a little bit, and they need to figure that out.
Yeah, the revenue is down 8%, and they spent $4 million. Did you catch that? $4 million fixing the new app. $4 million to fix an app when they could like. That has to go down. This is like right up there. No, we don't have time. This is right up there though. This is like when Netflix tried to separate its DVD business and they were going to call it Quickster. And like people just were like, are you kidding me right now? This app is right up there with like corporate decisions that no one should have ever made. Like right there. Yeah.
And finally, next year, I love sharing information articles because there's nothing to share. You just get a headline. This is from the information. Meta to launch ads on Threads early next year, which of course was coming. I'm curious to see how spammy it'll feel. How Instagram ads are actually pretty good as far as like targeting. So I'm curious how their targeting is going to be on Threads. But you'll see ads next year. So there you go.
Yes, of course. There's anyone who is surprised by this. Have you used a Meta product ever? Like, come on.
Which is why I feel like their federating of Threads is never going to go so far as like you can browse your Threads feed in a third-party app.
Yeah, no,
because ads. Yeah, like you'll never be able to do that. And so we'll be doing 18 social networks forever.
Can't wait.
All right, personal tech. This was asked by Super Eldian on YouTube. Your dock, Jason, on your Mac. Location, hiding, and your app minimization effect. Share if you could share.
Okay, so I have it on the bottom, and I use hiding. I don't. He didn't ask this, but every time I help a family member with their Mac setting it up or anything, I turn off the dots. No one should ever have the dots to tell you which apps are open.
No, the dots on.
No,
the dots on. 100%. Dots on. I did not think we were going to run into this again.
I'm not. All we're going to do is let us know, people. I promise you, Steven's wrong again. I would.
Dots on. Anyway, okay. So.
And I don't know. How do I find out if I'm using an effect? Options.
Minimize a window and see what happens. Either it scales or it genie bottles down into the dock.
Hold on.
I
think it just disappeared. You want me to minimize a window? Hang on.
Yeah, you got to minimize it, and then you can see how it goes in the dock.
It like did something where it went down.
So it did the genie effect?
Sure.
It's a little wispy, like the bottom.
I just want to say, I've never thought about that once in my life. So if I'm supposed to be doing something different, someone can just tell me, and I'm fine.
It's okay. So mine is bottom, hiding, dots on.
No.
This is so
see,
funny
you're
because I'm
wrong.
battery percentage off, dots on. Anyway, dots on. Recent apps, no. I don't like recent
No,
apps
I
in the
agree.
dock. Yeah, okay, we can agree on that. And I do the scaling effect rather than the genie.
I just
but-
switched it. I'm going to try it for a while. We'll see if I even notice.
What, the dots or the genie?
No, the genie. If I the dots are
That's how you know what apps are open if you need to quit one before you,
You don't
record a
need to know.
podcast.
you've
If
never
you
needed
see a
to
dot under Final Cut or Premiere or whatever and you're about to record a podcast, you got to know. So you can
What
quit
kind of
it.
a Mac are you using that it can't handle?
I mean, my Mac can handle, but I don't want Final Cut and Premiere open while I'm recording. No, dots on, 100%. Let us
No.
know. This is great. Let us know, listeners in the community.
So glad we
any of
found
the-
another one. Woo.
Any basic Apple guy would do dots on. No one would understand that reference. But anyway, let us know what you think. Dots on or off under your applications in the dock. You can let us know at social.primarytech.fm. Follow us on the 18 different social networks that Jason and I are now a part of. You can be his third follower on Bluesky if you would like to be. And you could support the show. You can get an ad-free version and bonus episodes every week if you support the show at primarytech.fm and click bonus episodes. If you support us there, you get chapters and all that in the main episode. Or you can support us in Apple Podcasts, which they strip my chapters, but I can't do anything about that. But you can support us in Apple Podcasts for ad-free and bonus episodes as well. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We're going to go record a bonus episode. I'm not even sure what. I think I'm going to ask Jason what charger he brought with him while he's traveling. And there you go. And we're going to go record that bonus episode so you can hear it by supporting the show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.